Covering all your local high school football games with highlights and scores. Now, Football Friday, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union.
And hello again, everybody. I'm Gary Harris. Welcome into Week 6 of the high school football season and Week 7 of WVUA 23's Football Friday, presented by Alabama Credit Union. Alabama Credit Union, loans for real life. A reminder that the first week of our show was Week 0 of the season, and that's why there's a little discrepancy. Football Friday is 1 hour again this year, and we have highlights. I'm not even sure how crazy it's been tonight. I think we got 16 high school football games, 15 or 16 this evening. Again, I haven't counted them up. Plus our complete Football Friday high school scoreboard, our Football Friday Band of the Week, our premier service company outside the huddle feature, recruiting tales around the SEC, Conyers Corner, and more. And we begin, as we usually do, with our Game of the Week.
Now, the Football Friday Game of the Week.
All right, after a couple years of not playing, Hillcrest moved into Class 7A Region 3, and that meant they had to play County High this year. County High had to play them, however you want to look at it. Hillcrest quarterback Bryson Kimbrough hands off to Christian Ritchie on the first play of the game for the Patriots. 3 plays later, Kimbrough avoids a few defenders and then pulls it down, shows his athleticism and his speed and his willingness to dive into the end zone for the 15-yard touchdown. Hillcrest would get back in the red zone, Hillcrest would, and then they would get it to Jacoby Harris for a touchdown. It was 14-0. In the second quarter, County High with a little trickery here. Quarterback Carter Dotson to KJ Jackson, and that worked out really well. KJ Jackson with a big gainer there. On fourth down, Dotson would find Austin Cherry. And Austin Cherry has got reservations for 6, 30-yard touchdown. And on the final play of the first half, the Patriots throw it up. Kimbrough finds Jordan Chambers-Smith. If you're County High, it's easy for me to say that sitting here in the studio. Just can't let that happen. You can't let the guy get behind you. They did. Big touchdown for Jordan Chambers-Smith. And Hillcrest goes on to get the win tonight as we check out the final in our Game of the Week. After not playing since 2021, they play tonight. And Hillcrest wins it in Northport over County High. That is a bragging right special, and it's also the first region win for Hillcrest. County High remains winless in the region, 42-21 the final. All right, Class 3A Region 3, Hale County 5-0 for the first time since 1977 at 3-2 Southside Selma. Now, we had a schedule discrepancy. We thought the game was in Moundville, but when our Jalen Prince showed up, he found out it was down in Selma. So we don't have highlights from this game, but we do have the score. Kind of a shocker to me. Not that Southside Selma won the game, but that Hale County, after going 5-0, gets absolutely blown out tonight down in Selma. 56-6 is the final tonight. So Hale County falls from the ranks of the unbeaten, and Southside Selma with a big win tonight over the Wildcats. Huge game in Class 5A Region 3. 5-1 Northside hosting 4-2 Sipsey Valley. Both teams with just one loss in the region. Both teams struggled early, but it was the Rams running back Bennett Green who broke it open and got it into the end zone. That's the first touchdown of the game, 30 yards, 7-0 Rams. Rams continue their strong second quarter. Bennett once again breaks the plane for a 2-yard score to put Northside up 14-0. Sipsey, though, fights back. Tailback Isaiah Bennett breaks a tackle, then he is gone. 45 yards makes it a 14-7 game. However, the Bears' momentum was short-lived. Not even 2 minutes later, Jackson Rhodes finds Evan Taylor for a 15-yard touchdown, put the Rams back up by 2 touchdowns, and it was all Northside from there. As we check out the final, big win, 51-14. Northside takes down Sipsey Valley tonight. Those two schools aren't very far apart, and you know that's a big, big win for the Rams. Tough loss tonight for the Bears. All right, let's keep it going. Class 6A Region 4, the Northridge Jaguars hosting the Hueytown Golden Gophers. Beautiful night for football, a little warm everywhere, but here's Northridge starting off well as Caleb Schofield knocks home the field goal to make it 3-0. Northridge leads 10-0 when Hueytown quarterback Jabron Ellington finds wide receiver Jaquez Daniel for the touchdown to make it 10-7. Right before halftime, Gophers running back Artel Andrews is going to punch it across, and it's 14-10. Close ball game. Hueytown leading at the half. First play of the second half, though, this kind of set the tone for the third quarter. Golden Gophers break it off big. Anthony Robinson says, "See you later." Nobody's going to catch him. That made it 21-10. And from there, Hueytown poured it on. As we check out the final, it was all Golden Gophers in the second half, winning at Northridge tonight in region play, 52-10. 10, the final score. Another Class 6A Region 4 matchup saw Central traveling to McAdory. We had hoped to have highlights from this game as well tonight, but it didn't work out. But we, of course, do have the score for you, and let's check it out. McAdory tonight gets the win over there in McCalla over Central. The Falcons fall 31-10 to the Yellow Jackets. 4A Region 4, Holt hosting Fairfield at Woody Clement Stadium. We were there for this one. Opening drive for Fairfield, and it's Holt linebacker Jalene Wilson with the big stick, forcing the ball out, and it's recovered by Holt. Holt trying to take advantage into the red zone. Quarterback Calix Grisby fakes the handoff and then finds Wilson for a 12-yard touchdown. Beautiful play, beautiful pattern, nice catch, good throw. 7-0. Holt trying to pull an upset tonight. But Fairfield coming back here. Quarterback Jamaria Hamilton decides to keep, and that was a good idea because 40 yards later, it's a touchdown. After the extra point, we were tied at 7. And from there, Fairfield kept it going. Justin Murray burst through the defense for a 20-yard touchdown run. Fairfield led 21-7 at half. And as we check out the final, Fairfield goes on to get the win tonight. Holt led early, but it's all Fairfield from there. 35-7 is the final. All right, we are off and running on Football Friday here on WVUA 23, but we have so much more to do, including our Abby Award-winning Outside the Huddle feature. But first, more high school football highlights, including the Gordo Green Wave at home this evening against the Oakman Wildcats, two very good teams in Class 3A Region 5. We'll have it for you when Football Friday returns here on WVUA 23.
And you're watching Football Friday on WVUA 23. Go Pirates!
The Winfield cheerleaders welcome us back into Football Friday on WVUA 23. I'm Gary Harris. A big Class 3A Region 5 game tonight between a pair of one-loss teams. Gordo, who's 2-1 in the region, played host to Oakman, who's 3-0 in region play. Here we go. Oakman on offense early on after the Green Wave take the field. Always a big atmosphere there. Wildcats running back Tyler Thomas, who had a big night, gets the scoring started. He gets the edge around the left side. And it looks like Jalen Milrow right there as he turns on the Jets to get it in to the end zone to give the visitors the lead, 7-0. But Gordo responds as they usually do. Quarterback Jace Neal keeps and gets it into the end zone from 5 yards out. We're tied at 7. Near the end of the first quarter now, it's Neal again finding his man, C.J. Lark, who puts a move on that poor DB and gets it into the painted area for the touchdown, 22-yard strike. Gordo up 20-7 after the first. Oakman back on offense. Tyler Thomas again. This kid can turn it on. That is a long touchdown run, 60-yarder in fact. And Oakman hanging in there. They would come back and take a 21-20 lead. This was a heck of a ball game. We figured it would be. Gordo, though, pulls it out in the end at home. Huge win for the Green Wave tonight over Oakman, 32-27. 1A Region 5, Hubbertville at Pickens County, another game that we had wrong on the schedule. We had it as a home game, so you know you got to be able to pivot in this business, and we had to do that tonight. But we do have the score for you. Hubbertville gets the win. The Lions tonight at home over the Pickens County Tornadoes, 28-14 the final. Class 1A Region 3, Pickens Academy at Holy Spirit. Pickens Academy has not won a game this year. And Holy Spirit figured they had an excellent chance to get a win themselves tonight. Both these teams coming in struggling a little bit. Holy Spirit on the move, but it is picked off by Aaron Kirk, who brings it back 70 yards to the 18-yard line. Pirates were flagged for excessive celebration, though. That pushed them back as they would not capitalize. On third down, Ja'Cory Stevens breaks up the pass to Lawson Bledsoe. They were stopped on fourth as well. Now, Holy Spirit with the ball, and it bounces off the receiver and into the hands of Foster Pate for the pick. Holy Spirit's defense, though, did its job, so Holy Spirit now with the ball. And Tamp pitches to Nigel C., and he is going to pick up a first down. But Pickens Academy gets the win tonight. Pirates with the road win, their first win of the year over the Holy Spirit Catholic Saints tonight, 20-13. Is the final. Another homecoming game. It's 8-man football as Tuscaloosa Christian welcoming in Unity Christian tonight. As we said, homecoming for the Warriors, and they were ready to celebrate. A little bit of, looks like a little fog out there in Cottondale. Tuscaloosa Christian on the opening drive. Braden Hughes gets in for 6. The Warriors feeling good, but Unity responds. Well, Zaylen Ledlow bounces it off a tackler, then comes back the other way, then comes right into your living room. Great camera work there by our crew. See you later. Got reservations for 6. But here come the Warriors. Alex Anglin finds Jackson Harris. And you know with a last name like Harris, he's got to be a player, right? He breaks 4 tackles on his way to the house. 65-yarder. What a play. And Tuscaloosa Christian, happy homecoming. They run away with it tonight. 54-12 is that final. Now to a Class 7A Region 3 showdown in Alabaster. As Thompson played host to Hewitt Trustful. Thompson is, nothing's come easy for the Warriors this year, and it wouldn't tonight either. Hewitt Trustful trying to get something going, but there's that Thompson defense. Ball is ripped out by Anquan Fagans, and Price Lewis scoops it up to inside the 5. That's what Thompson can do. Their defense will take it away from you. Huskies now are backed up. Quarterback Noah Dobbins is leveled by Kevin Davis. That's a safety. Thompson takes a 2-0 lead. Late in the second quarter, Thompson's Michael Dujon finds the end zone, 2-yard touchdown. Warriors lead 8-0 at halftime. Third quarter, Thompson again strikes. This time it's Trent Seaborn, 27-yard touchdown to Fagans. It was 15-0, but here come the Huskies. Hewitt Trustful's offense will get it going. Noah Dobbins, 13 yards to Jackson Martin. Suddenly it's 15-7. And this one went down to the wire, but Thompson hangs on to get the final tonight by the score of 15-10. The Warriors over the Huskies in a good football game. More 7A Region 3. Oak Mountain at Hoover tonight. There's head coach Chip English of the Bucks. First quarter, Hoover's Mac Beeson. He is a really good quarterback too. Reggie Jackson. Good name right there. Old former baseball slugger. Named after, I don't know if he's named after him, but he's got the same name. That leads to a Beeson touchdown, 7-0 Bucks. Second quarter, same score, and Beeson goes up top again on 4th down. Finds Chris Warren, who does the rest. 14-0 after the touchdown and extra point. It was 14-3 at the half. Third quarter, Beeson again. Going to swing it out to Hunter Purdue. And Hunter Purdue outraces the Eagles to make it 21-3. Early in the fourth now, the Bucks are backed up, but that only means it's another opportunity for a big play. Beeson to Purdue, who just streaks past the defense. He is gone. 28-3. What a play. Bucks win it tonight, 28-10, the final. Well, still to come this evening, our complete Football Friday scoreboard. But first, it was homecoming tonight for Brookwood against Calera. We were there, and we'll have the highlights when we return to WVUA 23's Football Friday presented by Alabama Credit Union.
We are the Bibb County Cheerleaders,
and we love Football Friday
on WVUA 23 Sports. Go Choctaws!
And welcome back to WVUA 23's Football Friday. Still to come, Alex Thompson will take us behind enemy lines. But right now, let's get back to the high school highlights. 2A Region 5, Sulligeny at Lamar County tonight. We've got it for you. Sulligeny, the road team in the road white with the blue numerals. Ethan Stiles picks up a first down. And then it's Stiles this time says, well, 5 yards is okay, but the double fives, I like that a whole lot better. 55 yards right past the camera for the touchdown, and Blue Devils convert the two-point conversion to go up 8-0. Lamar County, though, going to try to come up with a play there, but that was the two-point conversion. Here we go. Lamar County's B.A. Westbrook with nowhere to go. I'll catch up on the highlights. And then Sullivan's Hagen Gann with a 30-yard rushing touchdown. Now I'm back on track. That's right off tackle. Old school right there. Sulligeny with the score. Let's check out the final in this one tonight. And Sulligeny with the big road win over Lamar County up in Vernon, 42-12. is your final score. Non-region matchup as Brookwood welcomed Calera in for a Class 6A contest for homecoming. Homecoming king Joel Epps and queen Nora Akridge. Brookwood, though, man, they're looking for a win, and Jordan Riley says, just get on my broad shoulders and let me take you for a ride. 40-yard touchdown run, 7-0 Panthers. Calera, though, comes back. Jordan Henderson, he darts it outside that beautiful turf there at Brookwood. That made it 7-7. And then Riley comes back, his second touchdown of the night for the Panthers. 14-7. Brookwood got themselves the lead. They're looking for their first win of the season. But here comes Calera. Braxton Brooks up top. And, well, that's actually Brooks there. Yep, A.J. Johnson threw it. Brooks was out to practice early. Nobody near him. That's what you call busted coverage. 62 yards, 14-14 at half. But that started a run of 21 straight for Calera. And as we check out the final, they have the second half to their advantage, and they get the win tonight. But Brookwood, I tell you, they're getting better. It's just going to be a building process there. 35-14, the final. Let's go over to Legion Field, a 5A Region 5 game between Hayden and Ramsay tonight at the football capital of the South. A lot of great games there. Now it's mainly used for high school football. There goes Ramsay's Cameron Keenan. He might play some college football one day. Keeps playing like that. 6-0 Rams, and then Ladarian Berry for the second score of the night. That made it 13-0. And then Keenan says, I want to get in the act. He pulls it down. And where's the defense? Once he broke past the line of scrimmage, that's an easy score. And then with 30 seconds to go in the first half, Keenan again keeps, and that made it 26-0. Ramsay Rams up at the half, and they roll over Hayden tonight. 44-0 was that final score over at Legion Field in Birmingham. Well, another game that we had hoped to get highlights in for was Moody at center point. No dice on that one, so let's go ahead and check out the score. And it's Moody tonight on the road getting the big win, 36-12. 5A Region 6, Leeds hosting St. Clair County tonight. The Green Wave, great football tradition there. St. Clair, though, starting fast. How about this? How fast? 75-yard strike. Landon Smith to Jeremiah Thomas. And then it's Smith to Thomas for the touchdown. And it's 7-0. Leeds, though, answers on its first drive with a 65-yard march, capped off by a 22-yard zigzag run by ZJ Dale, tying the game at 7. The Green Wave step up big on special teams then. Gavin Howard blocks the punt, scooped up and scored as well, and Leeds on top 14-7. After holding the Saints on downs, Leeds gets another TD on a Connor Nelson handoff to Dale to make it 21-7 with 32 seconds left in the first quarter. The Saints offense, though, keeping them in it. Thomas again from Smith, 61 yards with 3 seconds left in the first quarter, but Leeds answers early in the second. Nelson's 4-yard touchdown run made it 28-14. And Leeds in a wild one tonight. They were shooting the fireworks, flashing the lights, doing something. Leeds gets the win, 56-42. How about that? 98 points tonight. Green Wave, though, will take it. They're on the right end of that score. 6A Region 6, Mountain Brook and Clay Chalkville. Of course, Mountain Brook, a really good team, but Clay Chalkville, the defending 6A state champs, and beat 7A Thompson last week. How about that? Scoreless after the first quarter. Here come the Cougs. Aaron Fry scrambling, then just tucks it in for a huge gain, 30 yards. Puts Clay Chalkville inside the Spartans' 10. Still on the same drive, Fry calls his own number, and he's going to get it into the end zone to make it 7-0. Spartans answer, though. When they got the football back, they never go down without a fight. Proud, proud football team. Caden Walker makes one guy miss. Then he makes his way down inside the Cougs' 10-yard line. It's a heck of an athletic play. From there, Stuart Andrews is going to walk it in for the score. And it's a 7-7 game. But Aaron Fry having himself a half. Quarterback keeper, touchdown, that made it 14-7. And as we check out the final, Clay Chalkville, it was not easy at all. But the Cougs stay unbeaten, knocking off the Spartans. Heck of a football game, 21-14 the final. On Thursday night, we had a homecoming game out at Huffman as the Vikings played host to Shades Valley. And scoreless in the second quarter. Justin Nelson under center calls his own number. And that was smart. The Vikings go up 6-0. Huffman trying to make it a happy homecoming. But the Mounties answer in style. On the kickoff, Kendrick Smith takes it back 60 yards. Shades Valley made the extra point to go up 7-6. Huffman's ground attack comes through, though. Cody Copeland. I mean, does it come through? That's an 85-yard touchdown. Wow. Huffman regains the lead 12-7, but Shades Valley would not go down here. The touchdown by Quincy Poole, and Shades Valley goes on to get the win last night over in Birmingham. 35, or actually I think that's 34-18. Should have been 34-18, but it's a win for Shades Valley either way. Well, on the way, J.D. Zaza will take us around the SEC, but first, are you still wondering how your favorite team did tonight? Want to know more? The Football Friday scoreboard is on the way. McAdory High School, our Jolly Hearth and Patio Band of the Week. Welcome back to Football Friday. I'm Gary Harris. It's time now to check in on the rest of the scores with our Football Friday scoreboard. So let's get right to it and run them down for you tonight. It was Pleasant Grove over American Christian Academy. ACA having a tough go of it this season. Not used to this. 41-7 the final. Bessemer City over Paul Bryant. 27-10 the final in that one. Also tonight, it was Bibb County winning at West Lockton. Big rivalry game. Bibb County gets the win, 33-21. Lynn nips Berry, 28-26. It was Tuscaloosa Academy over Vincent. TA moves to 6-0 on the season. How about that? 35-21. Demopolis wins it over Shelby County. A little typo there. I'm sorry about that. 35-8. It was Fayette County over Cordova 26-7. Good win for the Tigers tonight. And Greensboro takes care of Sumter Central 36-6. Winfield over Carbon Hill 41-6. Winfield on the road gets it done. South Lamar over Summerton Christian 53-22 the final there. It was R.C. Hatch falling at University Charter down in Livingston by the score of 58-12. J.B. Pennington tonight a winner over Sachs 42-14. Also tonight, it was Bessemer Academy over Southern Academy, 34-0. Helena beat Benjamin Russell, 55-14. It was Spain Park winning at Pelham, 42-7. And Chelsea over Chilton County tonight, 35-6, the final in that one. And one score that we don't have on the scoreboard that I'm going to pass along, North River Christian continues to take their lumps this year, playing a lot of young players. They lose at Macon East, 60-0 in the final. Well, that's the complete Football Friday scoreboard, but we aren't done with high school football, because when we return, I'll have a closer look at tonight's game of the week between Hillcrest and Tuscaloosa County High. We'll be right back with a closer look at that game on Football Friday.
We are the North River cheerleaders, and you're watching Football Friday on WVUA 23. Yay! We're gonna go. Oh, we gotta go. Yeah.
Welcome back to Football Friday. I'm Gary Harris. Joe Gaither from Bama Central, our high school analyst, is in Nashville tonight on assignment for Bama Central for the Bama game against Vanderbilt tomorrow. So I'm solo with my analysis. The really interesting thing about this game is these two teams should play every year. But the last couple of years when County High was in 7A and Hillcrest in 6A, they didn't play. Adam Weingarten, the former head coach at County High, just didn't want to play this game. Let's go ahead and roll video tonight from the game, though, because they had to play now. They're both in 7A, and it was an opportunity for both these teams to pick up a region win because neither one had a region win coming in. So not only was it a rivalry, but it was a chance to get on the scoreboard in the region. And Hillcrest pretty much controlled this one, 14-0, then 14-7. Good game, exciting game, but Hillcrest tonight over County High, 42-21. So not only do the Patriots get the region win, but they also get bragging rights, you know, South Tuscaloosa County versus North Tuscaloosa County, and a big win for Hillcrest tonight, and they'll try to build some momentum. And for County High, it's back to the drawing board as the Wildcats will remain in search of their first victory of the season. All right, we're going to come back with our award-winning Outside the Huddle feature when Football Friday continues. Please stay with us. And welcome back to Football Friday, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union. It's time now for our award-winning Outside the Huddle feature, presented by Premier Service Company, the power to keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tonight, the story of an inspirational Holy Spirit football player. Stu McCann has tonight's Outside the Huddle.
One of the essential win-win deals during the rebirth of Holy Spirit football was brokered by a teenager, Lila Ramos.
She kind of interrupted me one day. She said, well, Coach, I got a younger brother that's a bigger kid, and he's going to the magnet school right now. This is great. This is a great idea.
In many ways, Lila Ramos's brother, Luke, looks the part. 200 pounds, solid frame. But even with the prototypical size for a high school lineman, there was pause.
Coach, you do know that Lila's brother's got one arm. I mean, if he wants to play ball, we're just going to roll with it.
That response is what makes Luke Ramos and Holy Spirit the perfect union. Ramos was born with only one fully developed hand.
Everybody else has a different reaction to it. Some people think, oh, he's different, I shouldn't be staring at him. And some people, they just don't really realize that they do, but I don't let it bother me.
It didn't take long to realize he means what he says. Ramos is not sensitive to his abnormality.
They'll crack a random joke about my arm, and then they're just like, is he serious? And then I'll start laughing, and everybody else eventually joins in.
Concerns about Ramos's safety, and just as important, his competitive makeup didn't last.
We're playing dodgeball. He's like, okay. Puts that ball under there, gets out there. I mean, not just throwing, I mean, he's beaming people. And so, I mean, I was like, all right, yeah, we're going to be fine. I mean, it's amazing.
Hey, how's Ramos doing? That's like he's going to be a dude. How's he doing? How's he not doing? You know what I mean?
In his first year at Holy Spirit in 2002, Ramos played football, baseball, and track.
Nothing stops. I mean, like I said, shot put, you need one arm, viscous. Somebody needs to be bigger than what you're part of. You need to put that team first, and that's what he does.
It's made me a lot happier. I mean, we get to just talk with each other, crack jokes all the time. I mean, it's like a family.
Stories like his are special because we don't always get what we deserve. Whether it was track, baseball, or football, when Ramos got his chance, he got to work.
It was never, okay, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to quit. It was like, what do I have to do to make sure this is who I am for the next 4 years? I want to be a football player. Not a one-arm football player. I want to be a ball player.
I just kind of play it by ear. I just started off doing whatever I could to sustain a block, and then I've just learned off it. I don't really see my hand as something different. If you're out there, you might as well give it your all.
Battles across the offensive line are as close to hand-to-hand combat as there is in football. It stands to reason that two hands are better than one.
My approach is kind of like I'll hold them with my left hand, and I'll just kind of put my right hand right there with pressure, right where the shoulder pad is, so then it's almost like I'm holding on to it.
It was a block to his right, and he just kind of latched on with his good arm. Once he got his feet under, and you could see it on film, he threw the other one just right up into his shoulder pads, and he's so strong, and it's the way it's built, like the guy, like it made a difference.
Ramos says his technique is instinct and trial and error. He's working on a new tact, shoulder blocking, but he's not completely on his own. He knows where to go for tips and encouragement.
Motivational Mondays. Even though you have all these overwhelming things and these anxieties and fears and doubts that's all try to crowd you in your mind, focus on the main thing.
He'll start posting things, and it's just like a one-on-one interview, asking him questions.
Former Seattle Seahawks linebacker Shaquem Griffin has a popular Instagram segment called Motivational Mondays, sharing positive stories and lessons. He has an impairment similar to Ramos's.
What he had is he had this type of disease when he was younger, and he had to get his wrist amputated. But even though that happened, I mean, he still went to the NFL.
Ramos is living his dream. His story is not about proving the doubters wrong, that popular let all naysayers know mentality. Luke Ramos wanted in the game for one reason, to be a ball player.
Thanks, Stu. He's certainly that, a ball player. Another word I got for him is winner. Coming up, Conyers Corner, and Alex Booth will take us behind enemy lines. That's straight ahead on WVUA 23's Football Friday.
We are the Gordo cheerleaders, and you're watching Football Friday on WVUA 23.
Well, I don't mean to put words in Coach Person's mind, but I think in his mind he had to, he realized he was replacing or trying to replace Coach Bryant. And he just wanted all vestiges of Bryant. Bryant was not there, and he did it with no maliciousness at all. It was just that was his way of having to do something. And I'm not too sure, but maybe that was the best way to do it. Maybe not as difficult or hard as some things he did, like removing the towel, I think, was kind of went against people's grain. But Perkins was a big Alabama. In fact, Ray Perkins was the mentally toughest ball player I've ever seen. He was mentally tough, and that's a big asset in football. But anyway, Ray had a hard job to do, and he did a good job of it, I think.
And Eddie Conyers, talking about Ray Perkins. Conyers was recognized again yesterday morning by Alabama head football coach Kalen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide team. All right, let's go behind enemy lines right now with Alex Booth, who visited with Hayden Ruttman from the Vandy Hustler to get the inside scoop on the Commodores.
Alabama returns to Nashville on Saturday for the first time since 2017, when the Tide rolled to a 59-0 victory. This time, the Commodores are led by head coach Clark Lee and are coming off a close road loss at Missouri.
I think it's kind of a double-edged sword because Missouri definitely let them, stay in that game for longer with those 3 missed field goals. Obviously, you make the case Vanderbilt missed 2 themselves, so it's back and forth. I thought just generally they played really hard. They don't really get discouraged the way that I've seen them get in the past. There's clearly like an edge to this team, and Clark Lee said it in his press conferences, and the players have said it too, like they're fired up to play Alabama.
Vanderbilt kicked off their season with an upset win over the Virginia Tech Hokies. The Vandy Hustler sports editor Hayden Ruttman says that win came due to execution.
I think a big thing was ball control in the first half. I thought they did a really good job of executing their offense. They love to run the ball. They love the RPOs. They love to get the ball, in Pavia's hands and Cedric Alexander's hands, just churning the clock and managing the ball, keeping the ball out of the hands of whatever opponent they're playing, in this case, the Hokies and, their dynamic quarterback.
The Commodores' back-and-forth start to the season has left many wondering which side of the football is the strength of the team.
It's tough because the offense, I think, has had brighter moments, but it's stalled out a lot. Like you saw against Missouri, they basically went 2 full quarters without converting a first down. They had negative yardage throughout the entirety of the third quarter. And they've been explosive at times and really, really struggled to move the ball downfield at times. On the other hand, the defense has bent without breaking, but the bending hasn't necessarily been all that impressive. I think Pavia is the best player on the team. And anytime your quarterback is the best player on your team, I think you're just going to trust the offense a little bit more. He's the type of guy that can really, really improvise. He's going to beat you with his legs.
If the Commodores are going to take down the Tide for the first time since 1984 on Saturday, it's going to take some big plays on offense for Vanderbilt.
They're going to have to go downfield. They're going to have to get the receivers involved, whether that's Quincy Skinner Jr. or Junior Sherrill out of the slot, perhaps. They're going to have to move the ball well downfield in the passing game, and we've kind of yet to see that outside of a handful of plays throughout the first 4 games. So that's going to be big for Vanderbilt.
Thanks, guys. Now here's Tide TV's Christopher England with Alabama linebacker Deontay Lawson first off the field.
We're here fresh off the practice field inside the Hillcrest indoor practice facility. I'm joined by linebacker Deontay Lawson. Deontay, first off, let's talk about that game on Saturday night. Just talk about the atmosphere, first of all. It was just incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, the atmosphere was great. The fans did everything to, be involved in that game, and I think that ultimately helped us in the long run. And we got off to a fast start. They eventually came back, and Ron made a heck of a play, and we won the game.
Let's talk about that fast start. Have you ever been a part of a team that kind of jumped out like that on a team as good as Georgia?
Nah, it was no surprise, honestly, because the preparation we had throughout the week, the energy was high all week, and we really expected nothing less. So that's just something we trying to consistently build on, and just keep getting better.
Talk about Georgia coming back there. You knew a team that good was going to come back. They weren't going to quit. Just kind of talk about that comeback, but then how you guys didn't give up. You persevered and came away with a big play there at the end.
Yeah, like you said, with a team like that, they're never going to give up. They're a championship team as well. And when you're in a situation like that, you just got to keep playing the next play. And it's hard for a defense to defend when you're up on a good team, and they just, take shots down the field, go for it on fourth down. And they got up on us, and, we just knew we had to, persevere and just keep going 1-0, and somebody got to make the plays.
Talk about that last play there, that interception from Xavier Brown, a freshman. Just kind of talk about that play and just kind of the way that he kind of twisted his body to be able to make that catch is pretty incredible.
Yeah. Xavier, he been doing all the right things since he first got here. So I'm excited that it was him making the play. And on that play, we were obviously a man. And all I see, I just look back, and he, like you said, he reached across his body, made a heck of a catch, and we won the game. And that just comes from him just preparing the right way since he's been here, and just keep leveling up.
Get back at it this week on the road in Nashville against a tough Vanderbilt team. They got a quarterback from New Mexico State that beat Auburn last year, so he's very talented. Just kind of tell me a little bit of what you know about Vanderbilt and their quarterback.
Yeah, good team, great team. Definitely plays hard. The quarterback plays hard, has tremendous grit, and he'll do anything for his team. And so to be successful in this game, we just gotta make sure everyone's on the right page. Everyone's doing their job, and limit to his explosive plays, and I think we'll be fine.
Well, good luck this week, Deontay, against Vanderbilt in Nashville, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
For Deontay Lawson, I'm Christopher England reporting from the Hillcrest indoor practice facility.
Welcome back. It's time now for Recruiting Tales with On3's Andrew Bone. Tonight, the backstory on one of Alabama's greatest defensive backs, Antonio Langham.
The biggest thing with Antonio was he wasn't heavily recruited by Alabama. He grew up in Town Creek, Hazelwood High School. His cousins were the Good family, very well known around these Alabama parts. And he started becoming a high school phenom when he was a junior, senior in high school. He played wide receiver, defensive back, but for some reason, Alabama just had not shown a lot of interest. But one of the main reasons for that was Bill Curry was on his way out. Bill Curry had been at Alabama, didn't really pursue him that hard. He ends up taking a visit to Auburn with one of his teammates, meets with Coach Pat Dye, said meeting lasted 5 minutes. And okay, so he ends up leaving. But then Coach Stallings comes in, sees that there's an in-state kid that wasn't getting enough attention. In-state recruiting was very important to him. And a couple of years later, he asked Coach Dye, he said, why did you not recruit me harder? And he said, Langham, I wanted you so bad, but there was no chance in the world I was going to get you being in the house, living with the Goods, and knowing that University of Alabama just offered you a scholarship. But luckily, it worked out. And talking to Antonio throughout the years, he always dreamed of playing for Alabama. Loved Alabama. Started going down to football camps in Tuscaloosa. Once the recruiting angle kind of started for him, and all these offers were coming in, and he was developing relationships, and he wasn't getting that. It was kind of surprising. He was not getting that from Alabama at the time, and everybody in Tuscaloosa knew who he was, so he just kind of did not understand. Luckily, it worked out in the form of having an All-American and College Football Hall of Famer.
Terrific segment. All right, another big weekend ahead in the SEC. Let's go around the conference now with Football Friday's J.D. Zaza.
SEC play is in full swing, and this week, multiple teams will be on upset watch. One is the 9th-ranked Missouri Tigers traveling to Kyle Field to take on the Texas A&M Aggies. This will be the 5th time these two schools have faced each other since joining the SEC back in 2012.
For the Tigers to get out of College Station with the win, Coach Eli Drinkwitz will have to rely on his offense. Under the command of senior quarterback Brady Cook, Missouri is currently 19th in the country in total offense. Cook's favorite target is 2023 Biletnikoff semifinalist Luther Burden III. Last season, Burden eclipsed over 1,200 receiving yards, and this year he's on track for another 1,000-yard season. When asked about what makes Missouri's offense difficult to stop, Aggies coach Mike Elko says Drinkwitz does a great job of exploiting weaknesses.
They do a really, really good job of attacking you sideline to sideline and then pushing you vertical in the throw game. A lot of different play action concepts, always quick to go to a trick play at the right time. Does a really good job making sure that those are designed the right way and schemed the right way.
Now we head to the Sunshine State as the Florida Gators host an in-state rival, the UCF Knights. Even though the Knights do not play in the SEC, they have someone with experience of the league with quarterback KJ Jefferson. Before joining UCF, Jefferson spent 5 seasons with the Arkansas Razorbacks. Last season, Jefferson led the Hogs into the swamp and came out on top with a 39-36 victory in overtime. When asked about the challenges of facing Jefferson, Gators head coach Billy Napier says it's hard to replicate what he brings to the game.
Just the physical challenge of getting the guy down, not only when he's a passer that's extending the play, but also when he's a design runner. It's a big man, and there's a certain it's part of the challenge of playing against a player like that.
In Oxford, the Ole Miss Rebels look to bounce back after losing to the Kentucky Wildcats last week. The Rebels will travel to South Carolina to take on the Gamecocks and quarterback Lenore Sellers. Last week, Sellers missed the Akron game with a sprained ankle, but according to ESPN reporter Pete Thamel, he will be ready to go against the Rebels. In 3 games, the freshman quarterback has thrown for 393 yards, rushed for 145 yards, and scored 5 touchdowns.
2 weeks ago, the Gamecocks fell short of upsetting LSU in Williams-Brice Stadium. Now South Carolina looks for redemption as they host number 15 Ole Miss this Saturday. That'll do it for Around the SEC. For Football Friday, I'm J.D. Zaza.
Thanks, J.D. Before we go, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott for our game day forecast.
All right, Garrett, let's look at that local weather. Those local high school football games ramping up this evening. Really some nice weather for some high school football. And going into the weekend locally, if you got things going on across central and west Alabama, our weather's going to be dry. Still pretty hot this weekend. So let's talk college football. Bama taking on Vandy over in Nashville on Saturday. We've got 3:15 kickoff there. Look for plenty of sunshine, low humidity. But temperature's pretty warm for that game. 84 degrees at kickoff by the fourth quarter, looking at low 80s over in Tennessee, and Auburn taking on Georgia in Athens. That's a 2:30 kickoff. Got a partly cloudy sky, temperatures in the low 80s at 2:30, and by the fourth here, we're looking at low 80s with a partly cloudy sky. Let's take you back here to West Alabama. Look at that weekend forecast for Saturday and Sunday. We got upper 80s, going to be quite warm this weekend. Locally, plenty of sunshine, light northeast or east wind as we go into that weekend. That's a look at your local weather forecast update.
A little bit warm, but a good-looking weekend forecast. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Football Friday. I want to thank our great sponsors. I want to remind you that we'll have this show posted very soon at WVUA23.com. And this weekend, we got all your Alabama football coverage coming up tomorrow night on the news at 10 and on Sunday night at the news at 10. So make sure and join us for that. And I know that we're not on air a lot of places, but like I said, you can always watch this on WVUA23.com, also on the WVUA23 app. For all the people that you see on your screen, I'm Gary Harris. Thanks for watching Football Friday, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.